Dubose, aka A-Quil of Ascent Entertainment. Anthony, thanks for joining us today here, man.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, cool. So why don't you go ahead and tell us how you got into the DJ side of things for the wedding industry?
Well, it actually started, I was trying to make my way back into film. And I was thinking, okay, what's something I can do on the weekends and work on my writing during the week? And I was like, DJing. Prior to DJing, I've been an MC for a long time, so I know the ins and outs of music. And when I started DJing, I know the front side of it, so learning the back end of it, it was like, the technical side, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be fun. I know music, I know people. So these are all transferable skills, So started that about 2010, 2011, and was doing it more for a hobby and didn't realize how much it was going to take off / just how much I would have fun. Every day your office is a dance floor and it's different every time. So yeah, it just kind of, I meant to do it for a little bit, and then here I am almost a decade later.
Awesome. All right. Well, no, that's awesome. And then I have full disclosure, we trained in together at the same DJ company when I got started in the wedding industry as well. So, so I mean, definitely we go back a little ways with that. And with DJing then, so today we're going to talk about doing that first dance and how to get everyone's attention, because that's one thing that I see so often when I'm filming is that DJs, they're not talking to people. All of a sudden it just happens, like the vendors themselves are not prepared for it. So working with you and, being trained kind of at the same level of what we did, like obviously, you and I, we know how to handle this when it comes to getting ready for that first dance. So how do you as a DJ prep everyone for the first dance?
You have to first kind of make sure everybody's in position, because you're right. Like a lot of times, the vendor might be on one schedule. If they have a wedding planner, they're going to be on another schedule, and then you're going to be on another schedule. Not saying you guys didn't talk about timeline, but just in those moments when the bride says ready for this, everybody moves. Sometimes people move without communicating though. So for me, I always want to try to talk to the, either the wedding planner or want to talk to the bride. And when she says we're ready for first dance, I'm going to say, cool. Let me make sure that your photographer, videographer, you have one, are all in position, that everybody knows. Make sure you guys have used the restroom. So I'm going to make an announcement and say, hey, coming up in about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we're going to do our first dance. So if you have any type of camera or recording device, feel free to get those on standby. That's also my way of saying low key, if I don't see the photographer or videographer, hey, we're starting in about 5-10 minutes and I don't see you. I need you to come. Oh, we need to communicate really quick. Right. And then from there, it's like, okay, so while they need to either use the restroom or for some reason she hasn't busted or dressed already, please do that. We don't want anybody falling on our dance floor for the first dance, especially that. So after that, while everybody's getting ready, I'm going to make sure, and then communicating with the photographer, the videographer. Hey, I'm gonna throw a white light on. Let me know, does it look good? If not, we'll cut it off. I don't do too many colors unless someone specifically asks. Because again, you want it to look clean. And forward thinking, you want the photographer and videographer to have some space to do some editing in post.
Right.
Because if I do some crazy looking color during the first dance, it's harder for them. Again, it's about us playing a position for the bigger picture.
Right. And talking about lighting like that is huge for that first dance, because most people, they're like, oh yeah, a green light or a blue light's going to look great on us. No, like that does not, it does if you're not taking photo and video. So that's where it's like, if you're looking to add all those other elements, then that's where it's key to have that communication back and forth with the DJ.
Green and red are great for Christmas, not for video. Green, the bride will look sick. Red should look like the devil. I mean, that's your thing, do your thing.
Right, exactly. But no, that's a huge thing too. And making sure that your DJs know that stuff, because you come across that all the time where they're like, wait, why do you want a white light? No, they want to use a blue light or a red light. And it's like, nope, let's talk with the couple and have that conversation about how to make them look the best. So, okay, so everyone's getting ready. Then what else do you do after you talk to the vendors?
All right, so now after we're all in position, so again, everybody knows their role, we're good to go. And I'm like, I'm not going to start until we have the bride and groom close and you guys give me a thumbs up that you're rolling and ready to go. Because again, you don't want anybody starting too early, starting too late, looking off, because no matter what happens, it's always a DJ's fault, always. So if that's the case, I'm making sure everybody's in position beforehand. Once everybody's ready to go and I have all the thumbs up, I'm going to get back on the microphone again and say, all right, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, it is time. If you have any type of camera recording device, feel free to get those out right now as we're going to kick off our first dance. And I'll even just like my last little stall, okay, you guys know we're doing this. So I'm like, and I'm riling the crowd up, like, are you guys ready for our first dance? And they're like, yeah, and they never are too loud. So I'm like, we're going to try it again. You guys ready for our first dance? They're like, oh, yeah. Perfect. All right, so help me welcome to the dance floor for the first time as husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. We'll say Anderson, you know? And then that way, we know full attention is on the bride and groom. You've heard me speak. I now have everyone's undivided attention so we can introduce them and give them the great first dance that they deserve to have.
Sure. Yeah, no, and that's awesome. And then one other thing that I would throw in there that you kind of alluded to it, but make sure the parents are there as well.
Everyone.
Because I've seen that so many times where, you know, they know it's coming, but then the parents, they get distracted because people are pulling them off to the side or something like that. Make sure, especially mom and dad, if they're dancing with the couple, make sure that they are there. The other ones, not as big of a deal, but obviously like communicate as much as possible and make sure the parents are there.
And especially most dances you do, they're all going to go right in a row. Like, you know, first dance and into the father-daughter dance and the mother-son dance. Typically, you know, here, Minnesota, Midwest, that's the style.
Right.
So you want to prep all of them the same way. Like, again, make sure everyone uses the restroom, had a drink and everything. And yes, and I've had that before where we did this. Because, you know, you think it's 100% proof, and it's still not.
No.
But we did a wedding, this was back in August, where, again, we did this whole prep. Everybody's ready to go. And then it's time for father-daughter, and the father had to run to the restroom. And I'm like, we told you this. And so all of a sudden it's like, all right, flip-flop, mother and son was ready. So we just switched it up. You know, again, there's going to be things that happen that, like, it just is what it is, but you just have to be smooth with it and, like, you know, let it roll. And most people, they understand. Right. And dad came out later. He's, oh my God, I'm sorry. We got you. And we all had fun when we all cheered him on as he came to the floor, you know.
For sure.
So.
All right, Anthony, well, those are some awesome tips that you gave us about the first dance and how to knock it out. We're going to have a link below on how you guys can get a hold of Anthony if you want to book him for your upcoming wedding. Again,
should.
Anthony A-Quil, thank you very much. Appreciate it.